guys, before we get started with this video, I would just like to say if you're enjoying my content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a big ol' smack for me. It helps the channel out a lot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Connect the Dots. This is episode 2, part 3, the grand finale of episode 2. So, if you have not seen the previous 2 parts to this episode, please make sure to check those out before going to this one, because, you know, this is part 3 of 3. You might want to see parts 1 and 2 first, you know? It's just kind of common sense. But anyways, so like I had mentioned in the previous parts, in this interview, I am interviewing the owner and one of the co-owners of Glace Ice Cream Parlor. Now, like I mentioned in the previous parts, if anybody has any controversy or beef with either the gentleman I'm interviewing or with their group, Glace, just know that I am not involved in it. I am just interviewing them to get their opinions on things, to get to know them and their group better, so that you guys can get to know them and their group better, and to bridge the gaps of misunderstandings that we have with the groups that we troll at. That's why I do this, alright? After this last part is uploaded, I'm probably not going to ever speak to these guys again. Just want to get that out there. So if there's any beef, controversy, or whatever, just know I'm not involved in it. Don't worry about me taking their side and whatever may or may not have happened, because literally all I know about these guys is what they've told me in this interview. That's literally all I know, okay? So just keep me out of whatever drama that may or may not be going on, okay? Just gotta put that out there for every episode. But anyway, guys, like I said, this is the grand finale of episode 2. So if you have any suggestions on places you want to see me troll at for interview at for episode 3 or future episodes, let me know in the comments. But anyway, without any further ado, let's jump into this. Okay, so then how often do people get demoted and fired at your group? Because obviously you can only speak for yours.
Every single day.
Yeah, well, yeah, so we have a period, like, promotion, like, every 2 weeks we go through and we'll promote the active people and then demote the inactive people. But, again, we're demoting people every single day, like, admin abusers usually, the only, like, you can't be demoted for an activity on a random day. Well, SHRs can.
Yeah.
That's rare. I love the SHRs. Almost all, like, they're all active. So yeah.
All from my experience with it is that Glace gets about 10 to 15 rank sales a day on average. We're constantly getting new staff, and that means that we are literally firing a lot. I wouldn't say loads of people every day, but we are firing a fair number of people so that it's kind of balanced. So we're gaining staff for the ones that we fire on a daily basis, so it kind of balances that out a bit. But I wouldn't necessarily say that Glace fires loads and loads of people every day. The day that, like Alex said, that most people get demoted is what we call like promotion or reform days, which happen every 2 weeks. We look at who's active, and everybody who hasn't completed the activity requirements that are AM plus, because our shift leaders and supervisors aren't required to be active. But these people, a lot of them get demoted in a wave. But on day-to-day basis, you can have up to about 10, usually about 10 people getting fired or demoted.
And I would imagine that, and you brought up the subject of how somebody ended up making like an exposed document because they were fired.
Yeah.
This is kind of an add-on question. So if it happens every day, how often do you guys get backlash from the people getting fired? Like, how often do they just kind of just sit there and be like, okay, I got fired, so what? And then compared to the people who make a big fuss about it?
If I was to put it into a percentage, probably about 60% of people take it well and just give up. Most people, when they're fired, quit. They leave the Discord, they just quit everything. 40% of people like to rant. Currently, I have my DMs closed because I spend a lot of time outside, with the sun and everything. So if there's an issue for me, I get it, sent to me in our SHR chat. But usually about 40% of people will complain. They will claim that you've done things to them. They will claim that you was horrible. I've had claims. I've been accused of all sorts.
Oh man.
And it really makes me sometimes it annoys me because these people have literally been fired over a Roblox game and they blow it up into something so huge, and that is where it's like, okay, that's enough now. People who don't take it well are usually the ones that make these quote-unquote exposed documents. And to be fair, I don't really like the term exposed documents because like 70% of the exposed documents that do get made are all lies anyway.
Fake statistics. Where'd you get the statistic from?
Where did I get? It's out of my head, Alec. It's out of my head. Well, from what I've seen, that is. From what I've seen. Just random thoughts and stuff. But, you know, if there is an exposed document with proof, I'll read it. And if there is somebody that is a threat to the community, we will get rid of them for whatever reason. If whatever they've done, you know, we'll get rid of them if there is definitive proof to say that this person is a danger to the community. We don't want people like that in Glace. But when all that these staff do when they're disgruntled is they say, look, they try and destroy our reputation. And I think a lot of staff don't realise that you can't really destroy group owner's reputation with made up stuff with no proof. It don't work like that. And people don't listen to them.
Yeah, most people. Yeah, and another thing is like most people that get canceled now, it's like, you know, most of the community is not even on Discord, so it's like most of the community won't even know what's happening. It happens a lot. Yeah. But like a lot. I've known owners that gotten like I guess quote unquote canceled in the past. Their games are doing fine. I've technically canceled in the past. Like it was dumb. It was drama. Drama.
So if I carry it on a bit, it's like people then and a lot like Alex said earlier, people look at this and go, and then they come out with all sorts of problems and incidents and say, look, this happened when I was a staff member, this happened when I was a staff member. And we said to them, why did you not bring it up at the time so we could have dealt with it? They don't have an answer for it because they're leaving all of this until they get fired to say, look, this is what's wrong with the group. And we said, if you'd have told us at the time, we would have been able to help you. And that's something that kind of annoys me a bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I could see that being very annoying. I mean, I was a moderator of a Discord server, so I would have that kind of thing happen in my server a lot. Alrighty. No, go ahead.
Yeah, wait, I forgot. Alright, next question.
Okay, then. So, here's a question. Okay, so, being a prominent trolling YouTuber now for about 2 years now, when I started getting big in the trolling community, maybe not big, but, you know, not substantial either, that's not the word, known, I guess we could say. When I made videos at places, I used to always assume that these games would absolutely hate it when I would make a video at the places. And there's certainly cases like that. But I'll tell you, there has been so many cases where even the people I've trolled in the video would come and say, wow, you know, I was the one that banned you, but I think this was really funny, or, you know, the trolls you made there were really funny. And of course you'll have some people who are like, you need to stop trolling right now or I'm gonna get you banned, you know? But I think more times than not, when I make videos at places, the people who work there find it funny. Now, how is that for you guys? When you see videos made at Glace or trolling videos made at Glace, do you guys enjoy them or do you find them annoying?
I mean, I've never... trolling videos are like, what, 10, 20 minutes? I don't watch the full thing, but they're really funny to... I just think they're funny. Like, again, C-Smart, when he used to troll on our games, he was amazing. It was funny, and there was a lot of a lot of people were like freaking out, and I was like, everyone relax, you know. It's all funny, or you know, we should just let them. It'll die out at some point or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, I love it. Again, like I love people playing our game, and it's like, you know, people playing our game and having fun. You know, I like that, and I don't want people to, you know, hate on our game and you know, we try to take as much feedback as possible, but you know, we're working on a new version, and it's taken a little bit. That's part my fault, just motivation, stuff. But you know,
I think from my experiences, I have featured in Sesame's videos before. My avatar has, not me personally. He's edited. I know he did a funny video. I thought it was hilarious, to be fair. He did a video where I was like, it was like I was the one that was buying a rank, and I had like money in my hands. And I read the comments, and some of them were hilarious. You know, some of them said that I'm only a co-owner because I use my parents' credit card, and that type of thing really makes me laugh. And I did sit down with a couple of my friends and I did watch the video because I thought it was hilarious. You know, sometimes I do think that these videos are great. I don't usually watch trolling videos, if I'm being honest. You know,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, what I watch on YouTube is probably like reaction videos, stuff like that, and yeah, other stuff like that. But if like I have had it before in Glace where someone's pinged me and going, Crimson, you're in this video. So I'll watch it and I'll sit there and I'll laugh because it's funny. I think a lot of people think that trolls are out there to destroy people. They're not. I think they're just I think some of them are very good comedians. I think, you know, like I said with that video that I was in, I found it really funny. And honestly, if I met some of these troller people in real life, I think we'd get on. To be honest with you,
I mean, there's probably some troll. In fact, I know for a fact there are some trollers out there that are out to destroy. There are, but I think that the grand majority of them are just there to have a good time. But the problem is that the squeaky wheels get the grease. It's the bad apples that get the most attention. You could argue that's how it is for almost anything, not just trollers. You know, and you know, yeah, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, let's just move on then. Wow, this was the worst time to have that. Okay, so you guys mentioned earlier about how abusing caps is a controversial thing. Now, I don't know what your policy is at Glace about that, but do you think that it is... Do you think it's a stupid thing, the idea of, you know, abusing caps being a bannable offense, or do you think that this is something that groups need to lighten up about?
For me personally, and I'm sure Alex will agree, is that cap abuse to me is nothing. What does a capital really mean in a sense? If it's a big A, if it's a small A, does it really matter? Sometimes people see that talking in caps is more aggressive and a bit imposing, but to me it doesn't really matter. We did a trial period at Glace where we said, right, cap abuse, you know, we will remove the rule. Everybody can do what they want. For me personally, I don't see a problem with it. However, that rule was overturned because not a lot of people liked it. If we go back to the idea of people and like, I could have just gone and said, right, I'm a co-owner. I decide that the rule stays, but you have to do what the community want to do. Mm-hmm. I could have sit there, you know. I don't mind it. I don't mind the fact that cap abuse. You know, I don't really see a problem with it. But then again, we have to listen to the middle ranks and higher ranks, who are the ones you could necessarily say on the front line dealing with it, you know.
Like, for me, when I owned a Discord server, I didn't care about caps abuse. But you could argue that's because I was a trolling person rather than a cafe person. But, like, for me, when it comes to that, as long as you're not flooding the chat, I don't see a problem with it. If it's flooding the chat, then yeah, you need to tone it down. Like, of course, like you don't want to flood the chat. Like, especially like when us trollers, when we'll like when I got kicked from trainings, I'd always I would always spam all caps, sub to Barney 112 on YouTube, sub to Barney 112 on YouTube. You know, like I could see that being needed to be, you know, obviously be
we instantly
silenced.
Ban people for that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But if it's just somebody, like when I go to Solera hotels and I go there and I actually order properly, as you guys like to say, I say one thing in caps, and instantly there's like 3 or 4 people on my back saying, please don't abuse caps. And this after saying one thing, and there's 3 or 4 people on my back. Like, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Alex? On caps abuse.
Oh, yeah, caps abuse. I don't know. I say lol with caps. Actually, I have a very specific way of saying lol because I forget to click my caps key a lot. So it's like lowercase L, uppercase O, uppercase L. That's like how I usually say it. But, you know, I mean, people, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really using caps much, or I do it like with my friends if they're in my game and stuff. But I think the rule's dumb. I tell people not to do it because it's like, they're not they're not flooding the chat like you said. Then it doesn't, like, if they say lol but if they start yelling at a customer or staff or whatever, whoever's yelling, then I tone it. I tell them to stop using caps because the whole point of using caps is like if you're yelling, kind of. But it's like if you're just, if you're just with a friend or something and you're not like causing any problems, you'll be fine.
Like, for me, when I use caps, sometimes it's when I'm screaming. I'll do that. But a lot of times when I do caps, because Roblox doesn't really give us a way of adding emphasis to when we talk, which is why I made a tweet on Twitter saying, hey, petition for Roblox to allow us to bold our chat so that we can, add emphasis to things and not get banned from games. And that tweet blew up. But anyways, so I do it to add emphasis to my speech. That's the way I do it a lot of times. But I've had many cases where I do that at I think, again, Solera, where I go there. And no hate to Solera or anything. If there's anybody from Solera watching this, I'm just using you guys as an example. I have no problems with you guys. Like, your rules are your rules. You can do what you want. But I go there, and I use that for emphasis, and they'll say, please don't use caps. And it's like, how else am I going to add emphasis, man? There's no other way to do it. But, Solera is just a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. So, okay, so this is... I don't know why I added this question to the list, because it's such a straightforward question. It's more so for other people to hear it. Why ban people if they can just come back on alts?
Well, I mean, most people will stop after time. And you gotta ban people if they're exploiting,
Oh, yeah,
it's annoying. Like, if we... Like, we're not banning random people. We're banning people that are just, constantly ruining gameplay, etc. And, like, we have to, sometimes we have to P-ban people. But, yeah, if they come, like, we can't stop that. Actually, I think we can. Anyways, sorry, I'm not going to go into that detail. But, I mean, they come back on alts, we'll just ban them. But then again, we don't really know. I mean, the point is, if you're coming back on an alt, you're going to be doing the same thing again, so we'll just ban you. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to change it.
Yeah, most people just give up after 1 or 2 attempts anyway of making it alt. And lots of people I've noticed actually say, look, I'm so-and-so's alt, or the first person who we banned. So we just ban that as well. People actually expose themselves and say, well, I was this person 5 seconds ago, so we just say we ban that one as well. So I think people just give up in the end. You might have a wave of it for about 5 minutes, and that's the same with raiders. Once you've banned the raiders, you'll only usually... I've been a part of like helping to stop raiders probably about 10 or 15 times, and usually after like about 5 minutes max, I just give up because most of them are banned anyway. So
alrighty, so okay, this is the question that I have a hard time phrasing. So I mean, I'm sure you guys have had no shortage of experiencing trollers. I have no doubt about that. How often do you think that they're toxic? How often have you dealt with toxic trollers?
All the time. I mean, like, the ones that are like, we'll tell them, like, what you're doing is wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those ones, and then they start fighting back saying, like, no, this is unfair, this is admin abuse kind of thing. Like, I would consider that pretty toxic, because what they're doing, they know what they're doing is wrong, and, like, the fact that they're coming on an alt or whatever to say, like, you ban my, or, like, just to continue to complain to, like, rank saying, like, what you're doing, why the heck did I get banned, when they know, like, it's just, it gets annoying, and it's like, you know what you did, you're just trying to be annoying, and, like, there's nothing you're gonna get out of it, you're just gonna get banned again, and I don't know, I mean, that's, like, the only time I don't really like trollers, just the ones that, like, when they're banned, they come back and just start complaining, because they, like, the whole point of what they were doing in the first place was to get them banned, and, like, when they come back on, like, they can come back on and troll again, that's fine, I don't care. But, like, when they come back on just to start complaining, saying that they, like, the ones that complain that they were admin abused, again, there is actual admin abuse, but, like, not for that case.
When they know for a fact that they got banned properly and they come back and claim that it's
they
admin
know
abuse.
Like, they know, like, it's just the ones that are saying, like, you didn't follow the system. Like, the whole point is sometimes we ban people because that they're just going to keep continuing what they're doing. Like, and I don't know. Like, but, like, what you do is different. Like, you just troll. Like, you're not the guy that, like, and, like, you're making content. Like, what you do is for content. Some people are just annoying. But, yeah.
What about you, Mr. Crimson? Of all the trollers you've seen, are they mostly toxic? Or how often are they toxic?
To be fair, I think toxic is just a buzzword now these days to be thrown around to say if you don't like something, it's toxic. I've been called toxic. Everything I think's been called toxic. I think people, if they just don't like something, they'll call it toxic. But for me, toxic is something that upsets you. It attacks you personally, and the person who's doing it is set out maliciously to do it. But I'd say the idea of toxic trolling for me don't really exist, because if I'm being honest with you, I don't really play Glace games. I only really go on Glace games probably about twice a week, probably for about 10 minutes each, just to make sure everything's running all right. Because at the minute I'm overseeing the version 3 development. But for me, it's kind of like when I did go on quite a lot, it'd just be people just answering back, but I won't necessarily call that toxic. It's people who like attack you in a personal way and threaten you and say you've done this when you haven't, because I have had a lot of experience with that.
Yeah, that's, oh my gosh, I've dealt with that personally, having people like try to make false accusations and stuff. That is it is so incredibly frustrating.
And it kind of, and like when you get falsely accused, it kind of hits you a bit sometimes, because you feel like, well, I'm doing all this, and then somebody is trying to like destroy your reputation by accusing you of, being like this horrible, nasty, evil person.
And then it's even worse when people believe it. Like,
of course, yeah.
So there is a very, maybe not a very big rumor, but this is something that trollers will probably claim. I'm sure you've seen this. That states that games like yours and others like it wouldn't be able to function if trollers did not exist. Do you think this is true, completely untrue, or do you think it's kind of somewhere in the middle?
True, completely true.
Completely true?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, people like admin because they like to moderate things, and if there's nothing to moderate, then what are you doing, Or people won't play the game, people will buy ranks, whatever. And also, there's trollers everywhere, and trollers leak to YouTube content. That brings players.
Mm-hmm.
And like most popular YouTubers now are trollers. Like that, or Roblox YouTubers in that case. Like Flamingo, I would consider him a troller. Like he goes on games and messes around. Like, and he doesn't really. And so he's a troll, and like he's probably the most popular Roblox YouTuber at the moment. And when he plays a game, the game blows up. So it's like without him, there's a lot of games that wouldn't be here today. CB. A lot of people are getting CB to play their games because they can. I consider him a troller as well. And I would totally agree. Like without trollers, there's a lot of communities that a lot of games that wouldn't be as popular as they were. Yeah.
What do you think, Mr. Crimson?
I 100% agree with that as well. Trollers bring in training, for my opinion. Like a lot of when I worked at Cream, when it was a fully professional group, we did use trolling simulation to help improve staff skills. We do teach in our low rank training against trolling. And if trolling didn't exist, what's the point? It gets really boring instantly. It'd just be a game for low ranks. It'd be something like, trying to think of the game, Bloxburg. It'd be something like where you just go, click a button, and you order something. It's like, there's like a burger place or a pizza place in Bloxburg, and you just click a button and you complete a menu or whatever, somebody's order. But that would be basically like Glace. There would be no need for middle ranks. There'd be no need for higher ranks. There'd be need for the SHRs and owners to make sure the group's running properly. But we've eliminated a massive market there, because I'm a strong believer of, with trollers, brings in people who want to combat the trollers. I've seen ads like command the game or instruct the game, and that entices people to come. And it's like a constant battle sometimes between your MRs and your HRs and your controllers. It's kind of like an endless battle that never stops, basically. And that's the whole point of it. Without trollers, Glace would probably die, if I'm being honest, or it would be completely different. If I'm being honest, yeah, I think that's pretty much like it for every single group. Without trollers, like people would play the game about 4 or 5 times and then go on board of it because I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And Glace is really good for me, and I know a lot of the other SHRs. When I wake up in the morning, I don't know what DMs I'm going to get, or I could go from anything like this person's been saying this, or we could go to a really serious incident, and you never know what you're going to deal with on a daily basis, thanks to people like trollers.
So it makes things unpredictable, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. So the main reason why I'm doing this series, Connect the Dots, is because I think there is a lot of major misunderstandings between groups like yours and the trolling communities. And I think part of the reason of that is because of the nature of the relationship between these games. But I think it's also because that these groups don't really understand each other. And I think it's both sides. Now, what do you think would be the main things that causes the two sides to not really understand each other? If you could give a explanation on why you believe this is the case.
Because people don't like trollers. I wouldn't, and like trollers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. People don't like trollers, and that's why there's.
In my experience, people think trollers are out there to not play the game properly or ruin somebody's experience. And that's like, oh, there's another troller that's ruining. I wanted to serve someone, and then there's this troller in the way that I'm having to spend 20 minutes saying, stop.
Yeah.
So when an admin comes up and deals with it, like it ruins people's experience of the game. But I think as well, a lot of group owners, they'll sometimes put Flamingo in their ad, or they'll sometimes put other trollers in their ad to entice people to play the game.
Yeah.
And there's both sided, really. You need us as much as we need the trollers, really. The trollers need these types of games to be able to like make content on if you're a YouTuber, for example. And we need the trollers to make the game interesting and make people, play the game.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting to know that you guys think you do need trollers. That adds a new layer into what we trollers do. And I'm sure that people watching this, I'm sure there was a lot of people who widened their eyes when they heard those words come out of you guys' mouths. Oh my gosh, probably trollers and cafe workers alike who heard that. Okay, so we're down to the last 3 questions now. We're almost at the end here. This is a very long interview, no doubt going to be in multiple parts. So. Why is grammar held in such high regard in groups like Glace?
I don't know. I'm all for removing the rule, but again, it's professionalism. It's like people who don't use grammar. It's like as long as you're speaking English and people can understand you, and you're not like saying like gibberish. I think it's fine. Like I don't think you need to. And like most of the people that are playing our game are like young, so it's like. But again, it's like a lot of the staff. They like to be professional, and I'm like, okay. So again, like I'm not the kind of person to like, go against what people want, And the staff wanted the grammar rule back, so we added it back. But we're not as strict as we were before because again, it's like as long as they're speaking English, you don't need the full stops, you don't need the capital letters, As long as they're speaking English words, like I don't like it when people say "you" with like "you" just the letter.
Oh, no, you. Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah, like I mean that's a little annoying. But like as long as you're just speaking like full English words, like that's fine. Like so yeah, but people they have it. To answer your question, they have it because of professionalism. That's pretty much.
And from my experience is that it depends what group you look at. Rank buying groups, no doubt 100% attract younger players. 100%.
Yeah.
Professional groups, ones that obviously don't sell ranks, attract high-end teenagers, in my opinion. Usually if I had to put a number on it, the type of people we're looking at who play like games like Cream are usually 15, 16, older teenagers. And it depends because if I went into Cream and I said, look, we're stopping all grammar rules, they'd have a fit because they'd say, look, grammar shows professionalism. Whereas in Glace, we have a different system because if people forget a full stop, that's fine. If people put capital letters, that's fine. We don't suspend for grammar. We like to teach people grammar because at the end of the day, Glace kind of, like I said before, builds on skills that people can use in real life. And one of those is like written communication, grammar, stuff like that. I know it's like, oh, well, this is a game at the end of the day, but if you think about in the background, these are all the things that are helping people. You know, if they leave Glace and they think, oh, well, when I was doing my introduction at Glace, hello, welcome to Glace Parlour, I put a comma there or whatever. It does sometimes help with that. But in my opinion, it varies based on groups. You've got professional groups which rely on grammar because it shows that the group is a professional group. They're representing the group, but at Glace, we don't spend for grammar. We just say, look, this is how you do it. And then it's helping people in real life then at the same time.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So the second last question, I feel like you guys kind of answered this already. How often people resign? I feel like you guys kind of already answered that one.
Well, the only resignations that I personally deal with are SHRs. With Glace, there's no way. Well, we use Hira to track our current staff, but we've got no way to know how many staff leave on a daily basis, because at Glace you are not required to put a resignation letter if you leave, apart from if you're an EA plus. So if you're in a department, that's when you need a resignation letter. But we have no way to see how many people quit on a daily basis. And there was one person who quit 17 times in 2 weeks.
What?
Because they had a rank where they could just say, right, going back to the rank setting, going back to the rank setting, going back. And I saw them in staff chat. And in my thought, I thought, why are you in public chat now? He's like, oh, I quit again. And I thought, well, I couldn't believe it really. But having a rank, a Bible rank, then gives people flexibility and option, to choose when they want to quit and stuff. But yeah, we've had it all the time. People quit on a daily basis. But there's no real number that I can give you. I know how many SHRs have resigned in the past 4 weeks, for example. There's no way really of giving you a number of how many MRs and HRs have resigned.
Yeah, but that's nuts. 17 times in 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 17 times, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you have any answer for that, Alex, or is that something that's more that?
I'm just drinking my drink over here, just listening to all this. This is the first time I've heard this.
You didn't know that?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know about this, so.
Wow.
No
you learn something new every day. Okay, so here is the last question here. All right. So what is the biggest burden about your jobs? That the hardest thing about your jobs? We'll start with the owner, Alex.
I got no burdens, nothing, nada. No, I'm kidding. Biggest burden. I mean, I like to mess around a lot. I'm a jokester. People know. I'm a guy that kind of I'm not super professional. I'm kind of laid back, pretty funny and all. No, I'm kidding. I'm pretty. I like to talk to people. I like to talk. Obviously, this is a 2-hour interview. It's probably me mostly talking. But I don't really have that many burdens, I guess, because it's I'm not the type of guy. I'm not super rude to people. I'm not super mean. I'm not I'm not racist or anything like that. So as long as I'm not causing I make dumb announcements sometimes as a joke, but people think it's funny and no one really ever has criticized me for making them. But it's I'll say what's up guys, I have an announcement to make and I'm saying I'm a guy or something like that. That's it. Just something that people already knew. It just is a joke. And
so
it's yeah. But
so you don't.
What?
No,
Sorry.
No, go ahead. You can finish.
No, that was it. I was just saying, people think it's funny. No one. But I used to. There was things where, a while ago, I was I made a joke where it was everyone has to call me Supreme Overlord or Supreme Leader or something like that. And if you don't, you'll be banned. And so everyone in staff chat started calling me things besides Supreme Leader. So yeah, that got a little crazy, but that was a year and a half ago. That was a while ago. So
man.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. But I'm funny. I'm not I'm out of every owner you've ever seen, I'm probably the most I'll admit I'm pretty unprofessional. Yeah, laid back, unprofessional. And because I'm like everybody else, where it's Roblox is just a game, and that's why a lot of people actually thank me for not involving myself, because you'll just see me in SHR chat saying like really like stupid things. And
All the time.
yeah, I see Crimson. So like yeah, but besides that, yeah, no burdens. Like because everyone knows, like everyone in the community knows that I'm a jokester. So it's like yeah, but yeah.
So then, Mr. Crimson, what is the biggest burden in your position? The things that's hardest for you?
Well, there's a couple. One of them is sometimes dealing with Alex. Sometimes with some of the things he does. I know he said that he's quite chill back and stuff, but sometimes you do have to chase after him sometimes, and I'm sure he'll to say, "Look, Alex, why the hell did you do that?"
Yeah.
I've got 5 Alliance representative DMing me going. But Alex is a great guy to speak to, and I'm glad that shows Glace to work at.
Yeah, did you just say that your biggest burden was me?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There's our head developer, Nikki. He makes jokes like that, or I mean, he's kind of serious, but he's like, what does he say, Crimson? Like he's like, he's like, I don't get paid enough to work for you, but not just I'm a bad owner, but it's like I'm just like, I'm kind of a mess. I will admit. There were times where like I am kind of a PR mess. Like a lot of time, PR will get mad at me. I guess that is a burden, like not having alliances. Like, but it's not like it's not like I just make really stupid announcements. Like again, like I announced to everybody once. I was like, guys, I have an announcement to make. It's very important, and you guys have to be there in like 30 minutes. And like so, everyone was waiting, and I got everyone in a voice call one time just to say, guys, I gotta go. That literally, I did that once. I got everyone in a.
So kind of you were trolling, basically.
Yeah, like, yeah, like I've done that like in one time. Like I remember where it was like I made an announcement saying like I'm firing all the SHRs once, and I didn't do it. I just said I'm firing all or it was something like that, and I was like, if you want a job, DM me or something like this.
Oh and, boy.
Yeah, I do troll. Like I told you that I do troll, and you know, PR does. Yeah, that it is a big burden. PR, like I don't make that many announcements anymore, but PR does. They DM me a lot saying like you gotta stop alliances or like, and I'm like, you know, alliances are cool, alliances are great, and like it's great, you know, but a lot of the alliance, like you know, I kind of wish that like you know, people would not take everything I do so serious, but because it's like I'm not like. I'm just messing around, so it's like, but besides that, yeah.
So, Mr. Crimson, is that the really the biggest burden is dealing with Alex?
Not really, because sometimes I don't see Alex for like 2 weeks, and then he'll say, "Oh, Crimson, I was in California," or "Crimson, I was over here," and it's like, my gosh, you get about a bit. So no,
I travel a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I think, in my personal opinion, the biggest burden is these quote-unquote exposed documents that you have to sit and deal with the backlash of it. You have to go, right, this is not, and then you have to explain to the community. You have to, because one document, me and Alex had to have a meeting about. We had to break down why all of this was a bunch of rubbish. We had to sit down and say, this is the incident that happened. This is why. And I think dealing with that backlash, and when things go wrong at the highest level of the SHRs and stuff, that it's very rare, but that is my biggest bad.
Yeah, our SHRs are very trustworthy, which I like. We've never we've had once like an SHR leak stuff, like, and I don't think we ever found them. It was the Crimson. It was the one that was leaking V3 stuff, but for the most part, we haven't had and a lot. And like it's cool to have SHRs like and be friends and stuff, and like that's cool too, because it's like. But then again, like there is like we've had fired staff before who were friends with current staff, and like that gets a little.
Messy.
Yeah, they entice people to leak, and they entice people to give information.
And like the only point why we don't like stuff being leaked is like the main thing, especially like V3. We want people to be surprised by V3, and like when you have like these people that are just leaking things, it gets annoying, you know. And that's about it. But V3, I mean, V3 should be
V3 under wraps between developers and ownership.
Yeah, because I mean, you put so much time, effort, and energy into making this, and you want this to be a huge surprise for everybody. Yeah. And then somebody just comes out here and is like, "Oh, hey, you know, I got it leaked." You know, like. Yeah,
I say this when I'm a hypocrite because I've actually leaked the build already on my stream like once or twice. Which
Yeah.
oops. But I was just like, it was only like, like 20, 30 people, but like, I mean, they haven't seen the whole thing. Like, they haven't seen like the whole full thing, and it was my choice. Like, I'm the owner, and so it's like,
Yeah.
and it's not like, there were some things I just didn't show them, and and people wanted to do it. People wanted to see it, and to be fair, we haven't given anybody updates in like a few months now, so it makes sense. And we'll V3 will be done soon. It's just me. Like,
Very, very soon, TM.
yeah, but there's just a few things that need to be done. It's just Crimson. Without him, we would be nowhere. He's gotten he's told the builders what to do, what the scripter needs to do. I'm just like, currently I'm like going a weird spot right now. Like, I didn't have my PC for like 4 months. It was insane.
Oof.
Like, yeah. And then I travel a lot, and then I graduated like a week ago, and I traveled again, and everything. And like, I'm sort of like stepping away from the computer, but I'm not giving up just yet. But
we're both like Alex said earlier. He's off to college. I'm off to university this year because in the UK, if you didn't know, university in the UK is equivalent to college in America. Yeah. So we are both at important milestones in our lives, really, we do want to accomplish this V3 build, and we do want to accomplish some stuff before we do eventually step back and go, right, it's time to leave now. Because we will get to that day, we will say, right, it's time now. And as much as I love the community and the staff are brilliant, there is time where you say, right,
like, it's time
IRL only now.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
And the only reason why is because me and Crimson, we're not gonna have time, and like, I don't really have that much time anymore. Like, I'm always gone. Like, and like, part of me is just, it's like, at one point it's like motivation and as well. Like, I'm kind of in a burned out spot right now, and like, I'm burned out just because, like, I've been on this you said you came in 2011. I came 2012, early 2012. So I've been here for a while as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can't, like, at some point, like, you can't be doing the same thing for so long. I mean, you can. Some people do the same thing for like 30 plus years, but for me at least, I have this thing where I can't, like, I just get bored or I lose motivation, and I'm kind of hitting that point right now. So
I think for me, probably this year will probably be the last full year on Roblox for me personally.
Yeah.
So you guys gonna be? No, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it depends, because it depends how demanding my course is. I've got a lot of time off until I do go to university, but it depends how demanding my course is. If it's very demanding, Roblox will have to go. But when I do eventually start my university course, I'll only be able to work at one group anyway, probably.
So are you guys thinking of passing the reins on to somebody new? Is that what you guys are thinking of doing?
Probably someone who like, probably for me, well, like, Crimson, I was thinking about giving it to him, but if he's also leaving, then that's out of the question.
Yeah.
We got two other co-owners, Maddie and Nikki. Nikki's the other one, but Nikki also, he goes super inactive during school years because he's one of those people that puts school above, video games.
Well, of course,
obviously.
So
I think with me as well, depends how Cream goes as well, because we have that to do. But I think for me, I'll only be staying at one group. So the question for me is, and I hope this. Oh, just dropped something. Sorry. I hope for a lot of people that don't get upset, but if Cream gets up and running and Glace gets up and running, and Glace stays as it is, I will have to pick between Cream and Glace, and it'll be quite a situation where it's like, what do I do? But that's to come in the future. I don't really want to overthink it now.
Alrighty, so I guess that is all the questions. So since this is a two-way interview street, I mean, do you guys have any questions you want to ask me about, like, trolling, about my YouTube career, or anything? Like, any questions you guys want to ask me?
I mean, not a question, but I sort of like a comment. Like, I saw a few of your videos, and I didn't really know much about you before. Before Jay talked to Crimson about the opportunity that you're interviewing other people. But after seeing your videos, like, I think you'll do really well as long as you consistently keep uploading. And I like your content. It's original because most trollers, they use like just robotic voices. You kind of add your own commentary to it, and it's funny. And I think you're gonna do well. And I mean, I tried getting into Twitch, YouTube, and all that. And Twitch, I mean, Twitch it's fun, but you know, at some point it's like it's kind of hard for me, like, because I don't really play Roblox. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I just like the only thing I do mostly now is just like Glace in my games, and so like for Twitch it's hard to like, because like most of the people that watch me are Roblox people, so it's like it's hard to not get any viewers because of it. But I mean, you should. I'll send you one of my clips maybe. But like my Twitch streams get kind of crazy, and I'm a crazy guy, and I feel you gotta have like that, and you have like the YouTuber like voice, like the way you speak. I don't know. You have like the YouTuber voice.
Yeah, like I have a good speaking voice from what I'm being told. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you'll, and you like doing what you do, and you've been doing it for a while, so it's like just keep doing it, man, and you'll probably, I bet you could be like, you'll probably get like 100K subs.
I've seen so many people say that before, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get that far. I hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah, well, I definitely appreciate the kind words. I think you were about to say something, Crimson. I think I heard something.
As a closing point for me, thank you for doing this interview. I think it's been quite nice to speak to people about our experiences and things. Yeah. And I hope you do well. And if our paths do cross in the future, it'll be a pleasure. Because the stipulation that trollers are, crazy, mean people is, it's completely untrue. And it's been nice and refreshing to do this interview with you. And you will be welcome at Glace anytime to make videos on it.
I would probably still make them anyway, but I do appreciate it.
We'll roll out the red carpet for you when you come next time.
Oh, jeez. Bring out the pixelated red carpet. So, I guess I'll add one extra question on here. If there was anything that you wanted to say, because you're on a platform right now where you get to speak to a big portion of the trolling community. If either of you had something that you wanted to say to the trolling community, what would you want to say to them?
I love trollers.
Well, from me, as long as you're not personal and attack people, you're always welcome at Glace.
No, don't listen to him. Do it. No, I'm kidding. Listen to him. Don't listen to me.
As long as you are not personal, as long as you don't bully people. I know there's trolling and bullying, and your video really strongly highlights that, which is good. But I don't mind trollers. Don't think that I hate trollers. Completely don't. You're welcome at Glace, just as long as when you get banned, just give up.
Alrighty then. So I guess if you guys don't have any further questions, I think that's where Connect the Dots episode 2 is going to come to a close. So, of course, I'd like to also, like I said in the beginning of the interview, this is probably a multiple-part series at this point. I'd like to give a massive thank you to your developer, Jay, for reaching out to me on Twitter, saying, I know you got this series going, I'll hook you up with some people, and I think he said that he is thinking of hooking me up with some other people for even future episodes. So he's being a very big help. So I would just like to give big thank you to Jay, and of course thank you guys for taking time out of your day to come and get interviewed. It's very, very, very appreciated. And best of luck with Glace and all that. And if you guys are going to retire, have a happy retirement. It's weird to say that when you're only in university and you're thinking of the word retirement in your lives, but but yeah, guys, if you did enjoy this interview, please do leave a like and subscribe. And if you have a question that you want to ask to either of these gentlemen, I'm sure they're going to see the videos and they may respond to comments. We'll see. If you have a question for them, you can just ask it in the comments. I'll leave a link to Glace in the description of all the videos, because this is, like I said, going to be a multiple part series. And if you have a suggestion on where you want to see me go, or rather what group should be interviewed next, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it off for this video. If you got, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, all that. Follow me on Twitter, second channel in the description. And yeah, do you guys have anything else you guys wanted to say?
No, but thank you very much and goodbye.
See you guys later.